What happens when you try to help someone until they start to take advantage of your kindness? What happens when that kindness can cost you your life? This was something that Abby Choi unfortunately had to go through. Welcome back, people. Today's case file takes us to Hong Kong, an administrative region of China considered by many as one of the safest places to live. Hong Kong also has the largest number of skyscrapers of any city in the world. With around 8 million people from different nationalities, it is also home to the third highest number of billionaires of any city in the world and the second in Asia. Amongst these rich and glamorous individuals, let's take a closer look at the life of Abby Choi. Born on the 15th of July 1994, there isn't much information available about her early life, apart from the fact that her family was one of the wealthiest in Hong Kong. They ran a successful construction company back in mainland China. Her work as a model and social media influencer later on in her life would help her build quite a strong profile in the fashion industry around the world. She would work with some top fashion outlets like Vogue and Harper's Bazaar, to name a few. Even though she was mostly occupied with her work, she still managed to balance her work and personal life and would spend time with family. In 2012, at the age of 18, she married her childhood sweetheart, Alex Guang, and later on had 2 children with him. Though the marriage didn't last long, and the pair decided to go their separate ways after 3 years of marriage. In 2016, she then met Tam Chak Wan, also known as Chris, and straight away the two hit it off. Now Tam was pretty well known himself in Hong Kong, as he was the founder of chain restaurant Tam Jai Yuan Mixin. Somewhere around in 2016, the two then decided to have a wedding ceremony where they'd invite all their family and friends. Though they never legally registered their marriage, later on they too would have 2 children together. Abby was truly adored and loved by her in-laws, who would describe her as their actual daughter. She too cared for them deeply. In fact, she would often treat her mother-in-law to fancy dinners and would send her gifts on her birthdays and Mother's Day as well. Despite her and her ex being divorced, she was still pretty close to him and his family and would often help them out in any way possible. In fact, she reportedly provided her ex-in-laws and their kids with a luxury apartment to live in. She even helped her ex-brother-in-law, Anthony Guang, who also happened to have a strong bond with her, to purchase a home. She later also hired him as a personal driver. Now this alone shows, quite honestly, what an amazing person Abby was. Unfortunately though, as the saying goes, give a clown your finger and he will take your hand. Now it is important to know that the apartment that Abby had bought for her ex-in-laws was nothing close to cheap or even affordable for some. The apartment was located in the exclusive Kanduri Hill neighborhood in Hu Man Tin, an area predominantly for the elite and rich. It is believed that the apartment itself cost something around 70 to 73 million Hong Kong dollars. It is also important to know that her ex and his family weren't exactly the most respectable people in Hong Kong. In fact, her ex-father-in-law, Guang Kao, a former police officer, had retired due to a sex scandal back in 2005. Her ex-brother-in-law, Anthony, although had no prior criminal records, he did face overwhelming debts and was sued back in 2019. Her ex-mother-in-law filed for bankruptcy in 2016. Even her ex-husband was involved in a gold investment scam in 2015 that swindled people out of 5 million Hong Kong dollars. It is said that at the time Abby was not aware about any of this. According to the police, things did start to get quite sour between Abby and her ex-in-laws once it came to light that Abby was planning to sell the apartment her ex and his family were living in. Even though Abby had bought the apartment, it was registered under her ex-father-in-law, Guang Cao's name, which made it a little difficult for Abby to sell. Abby tried to reassure them and even promised them of getting a new apartment for them all, but it was just unacceptable for Guang Cao and would oppose her decision, due to which Abby would have no choice but to consult a lawyer who recommended her to try and verify that the property was bought by her. On the 21st of February 2023, Abby was reported missing. According to the police, she was supposed to pick up her daughter from school but failed to show up. An investigation was soon launched, and just a few days later, between the 24th to the 26th of February, the police would come across the headless corpse of Abby Choi. Several parts of her ribs were also found in a pot of cooked soup. Upon further investigation, they would soon find other body parts of Abby hidden in a refrigerator. The very next day, on the 25th, 3 suspects were initially arrested. One of them was her ex-brother-in-law, Anthony, and the other 2 were her ex-father and mother-in-law. The only one missing from the scene was Alex Guang. After a citywide manhunt on the 27th of February 2023, the police were finally able to arrest Alex as well. Officials claim that in the beginning of February, Alex, his father, and his brother rented an apartment in a coastal village and basically turned it into some kind of body disposal workshop. Tools that are used to dismember human bodies were found in the apartment. Things like meat grinders and chainsaws, to name a few. Later, the police would arrest their 5th suspect in the case, 47-year-old Nick Chi Wing, believed to be the mistress of Guang Cao. She was said to have helped hide Alex Guang before his apparent attempt to flee Hong Kong. On the 2nd of March 2023, a 6th suspect had been arrested. 41-year-old man Lam Sean, also believed to helping Alex escape Hong Kong after the incident. Just recently, on the 7th of March 2023, a 7th suspect was arrested. 29-year-old Irene Pun Hao from Shenzhen, China. She was later handed over to the Hong Kong authorities. Alex, Anthony, and their father are facing murder charges, and his mother has been charged with preventing the course of justice. The other suspects have been charged with aiding and abetting the murder suspect, though later were released on bail. Authorities are still in search for Abby's hand and torso. It was also reported that the main mastermind behind all of this was none other than Abby's ex-father-in-law, Guang Cao. According to the authorities, the day Abby went missing, she was picked up by her ex-brother-in-law, who was supposed to take her to school to pick up Abby's daughter. At some point, as they were on their way, her ex-husband, Alex, also joined in and struck Abby with a piece of rod on her head. They then proceeded to take her to the apartment that was rented out by Guang Cao. After the case had gained a lot of attention in Hong Kong and around the world, people were quick to compare this case with the 2019 Oscar-winning movie Parasite, as the story of the movie has a lot of similarities. Now, I apologize for my language, but these guys clearly were a bunch of dumbasses, the stupidest people I have ever got to know about. They had literally everything given to them by the goodness of one person, Abby. It is such a shame that this is where it led to for her. As the trial is about to begin soon, I genuinely do hope they get what they rightfully deserve and justice is served. Well folks, that was the end of the case file. Hope you did find the video interesting. If you've made it this far, I would genuinely appreciate it if you would give this video a like, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, as it would really help me. Until next time, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and please be safe. Peace.